In the long run, 30% of retail sales flows through the companies within K-Web today, that they're very important to the domestic consumption economy. These companies are very well known for global investors. They're really viewed as some of the best companies in China today. So I think investors see that the fundamentals of the companies have remained quite strong. It's really been the implementation of regulation comes off as a little ad hoc, almost a whack-a-mole situation. And so it's really about the gaining more clarity. And as we see the data security law go into effect on September 1st, the personal information protection law going into effect on November 1st, the MIIT, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, saying that they're, already looked at 68 companies, that we're starting to see some indications that maybe the worst of the regulation is behind us, as well as gaining more clarity and transparency around the implementation.
No, the reason I ask you that is because of what happened yesterday, right? The fall in Tencent NetEase that spilled over to the broader markets. According to your notes, Tencent has been seeing buying interest over the course of the last 2 weeks via the southbound Stock Connect program. And so I wonder, how are investors thinking about, the time horizon for getting into these names at lower levels, because they've fallen quite a bit?
Yeah. We find it very interesting that investors in mainland China over the last several days have started to become buyers of Tencent, including both yesterday and Wednesday when the stock was off on some of this online gaming news, some of which turns out to be false, that the games are not being halted. They're just slowing some of the approval processes, and that's really driving some of the rally. We think that mainland investors tend to be a good indicator of when they buy and sell, and they've been net sellers of Tencent over the course of this year, and yet we're starting to see them come into the stock. We're also seeing Tencent itself buy shares. They've been a buyer over the last 2 weeks. They're only buying about 200,000 shares a day, but it's an indication that the company thinks the stock is cheap. I also think it's important that investors recognize that Kuashu technology was added to Southbound Connect just last week. So why would the government regulators allow Kuashu to be purchased by mainland investors if they were going to try to hurt it via regulation? So we think there's a pretty strong indication that we're maybe not getting a all clear sign, but we're much closer to moving to more of a yellow light and hopefully a full green light for more investors to come back into the space.